Hello, everyone. It's Charlton, and hopefully the audio is good because my audio was terrible last night when I was doing the Aretha Franklin video. I actually don't know. I don't think there's been any change in status on that. But I wanted to continue to talk about the missing Iowa woman, young woman, Mollie Tibbetts, who's still missing. She's been missing since July 18th. We're approaching almost 1 month pretty soon in another 4 days. It's the 14th now. And they gave a press conference today. They talked about a number of different things, including they created a new website for her search and for people to submit tips to. You know, in addition to the phone numbers that they have out there from Crime Stoppers and a couple different phone numbers that people can call anonymously, but they created this as well that has some information on it. It has an interactive map on it, and it also has a place where somebody can anonymously, submit a tip on a computer. You know, it's a little different than calling and speaking over a phone, and I think that, they went over a number of criteria that they think somebody who might know the person who abducted Mollie, but they don't even realize, that that's the person, might have seen something, and they just haven't put it together yet. A change in behavior of somebody, and they went over this different things that could indicate something that they should report. And I'll go over that in a second. So, you know what? Before I do, if I could, I would like to just, I've introduced this person before, Big Boy Blue. It's a dude up in Canada. He's a really nice guy. He makes many, many different little videos of his life up there. He lives in a beautiful location. I think it's in Alberta. I might have that wrong, though. I think it's the western, northwest Canada, as I understand it. But it's absolutely beautiful. And his videos are different. Sometimes they're longer, sometimes they're shorter. He's been making shorter ones recently, and they're really fun to watch. I really do, and I understand, man. I know how it is when you make videos and somebody's not, and people aren't watching it just because they have no idea your videos are out there, and it takes time and effort. Everything I do now. When I see something, I see anything, a change in the weather, a street sign, I think of, can I make a video of that, and capturing the video, capturing the moment, it takes time and effort and all that. So, I just strongly encourage people to go check out his website, his channel, and his videos are very good. They're very entertaining to watch. I'm telling you, these three right here, Drink Time, Too Much Grass, and Dukes of Hazzard, I promise you won't be disappointed. In each case, they put a smile on my face, flat out. Okay, so go check them out and maybe hook them up with a subscriber. I mean, it's I don't know, it's no skin off your back. You know what I mean? So over to the Mollie Tibbetts press conference. Whoops. And I don't know how much I'm going to play of this and how much I'm just going to talk about and read. I was looking at some of the reporting that I watched it today live, and then I thought about it a fair amount today, and I was actually thinking about it on the drive home. And actually something occurred to me on the drive home that hadn't occurred to me ever during this whole case until tonight. And, my last video, and I think I've already tried to do this video a couple times tonight, so I don't know what I've said already. I don't think my previous theory about it being a girl or a female that she might have had a relationship with, I don't think that. I think that was not a good theory. And what I was suggesting is that it would have been somebody that could have used that against her to get her to go with them initially, because she'd be afraid, because of the nature of the relationship, she'd be afraid of exposure. And so that might be something that somebody could have used against her to get her to go with them, and then from there she'd be held against her will. And that I wasn't suggesting she was participating in it, but nonetheless, I don't even think that's actually a realistic option based on watching the press conference today. Anyways, but in any event, But one thing that did, I mean, in my previous video, I was asking the question of myself. I was just talking about why did the FBI get involved in the first place, anyways, with this missing persons case? I mean, she's an adult, and you know, as of yet, there's really been no interstate aspect to the case, and I was just trying to maybe did that indicate something? The fact that the FBI got involved fairly early on. A number of people in the comments suggested, and they might be right, that being Brooklyn, the Poweshiek County and Brooklyn is such a small community, maybe they asked for help. It's very possible that that is the case. But I don't know. I mean, I just, on the way home tonight, just out of nowhere, it popped into my head that maybe the reason they are involved is because there are other cases that Mollie that they were working on, and Mollie became one of more than one of multiple cases that we're not being told about. It's just a thought, just came into my head, and actually it scared. It gave me a bad feeling. In terms of some, and I looked into it just briefly. The autistic boy, who I think is 16 years old, who went missing not long ago in like June, and and he's about an hour north of Brooklyn. And I just started thinking, is there a possibility that there's actually some kind of serial kidnapper out there, and that's why the FBI was got involved in this so early and in such a big way. There's a fair amount of agents and a fair amount of law enforcement working on this case, and I was just wondering if it meant something other than the fact that the public has just taken an immense. I mean, this is becoming a national story, and partly because of how she just vanished out of nowhere. Let me continue, and I was just reading through some of the reporting that has been taking place since the press conference. One of the things that this reporter pointed out is that Mort Vet, this man here, the agent who conducted most of the press conference, and then another agent who I think is actually overseeing the investigation, or is like one of the agents actually doing the investigating. Forgive me if I got that wrong. He took some questions after he spoke. But one of his first initial statements is that they believe that it may be somebody that is not necessarily a member of the community, but is likely familiar with the community, familiar with the surroundings, but might be from outside the community. It's hard to know what exactly that could be. And then he goes on to list some of the things to look for, particularly for people who might know the person who's actually behind the abduction, and they might not even know that the person is the person behind the abduction, but they noticed some changes in behavior, but they didn't necessarily put it together, or they thought it wasn't important, or they thought maybe somebody else already reported, so they didn't bother coming forward. So he goes over a very long list of things to look for. I think I'll play it. I think I'll play him saying it, and then I'll read through some of it and go through some of the website, that they set up for searching Mollie and for giving tips, And here's that list of things that they should look for. It seems like it's a male to me. The idea of the person that they have in mind. I don't know if they have somebody specific in mind or not. It's so hard to figure out if they do. I mean, I'd be inclined to say that they do have somebody in mind, but I've jumped to conclusions so many different times where I thought for certain I was on to something, and I was just not. So I just don't know. Let me play just a very small portion of this press conference, because I think it's easier for you to hear him say it, and then just go from there. And the website that they set up, beyond just the list of things to look for, the changes in behavior, somebody that recently either washed their car, or took their car to the repair shop, or sold their car, a number of different things, and I'll go through them specifically one at a time quickly and let him say it as well. But the map. And they were very vague. They weren't real specific on this, Like I looked at the map and I had to go back to the press conference and find out what were the pink spots. And even the agent, not this person, but the other agent who takes questions, was asked about that. And he just said people in those particular areas they're hoping to jog their memory. But there's actually notes for some of the red spots, and other of the red spots, nothing like this. This one brings up a broken image, and one of them doesn't work altogether. This one here doesn't bring up an image, and these do bring up images, and they actually have a note at the bottom of each image. And I just realized that tonight, moments ago, you know. So we'll go through that as well. All right, so let me just play this press conference and then jump over here to the website. So before I get to the press conference, let me just quickly go over one thing that I saw yesterday after I already uploaded my video, and I hadn't seen it before. These are things that are not confirmed by the police, and there's been a number of things that either a family member said or a community member said that the authorities told them and got reported, but it's still not confirmed. One was that, about the fact that Mollie was on her computer, into the evening on July 18th, suggesting she was at the home, Dalton Jack's, the boyfriend's home, that night. But that's never been confirmed by the police. They haven't said that is or is not true. And that's actually reported right here, right before this thing that I saw that I hadn't even heard. I just hadn't seen this ever before. I don't know. So it says neighbor Dave Colum told the Associated Press that investigators also told him Tibbetts had returned home after jogging past his house, according to the data from her Fitbit. I never heard that. So according to this, it says that, her Fitbit data says she returned to the home, the boyfriend's home. And but again, that's not confirmed. And this Dave Colum is not the same dude as this guy, who is Riley. I already forgot his name. Devin Riley, who gave the interview to Good Morning America, And then I think that is the problem, I mean, it's unfortunate that anybody who comes forward with information, people naturally start wondering, well, if you're the last person who saw him, they get suspicious, and then they start getting, and I think he even, it was reported that a lot of people were suspecting him, and in social media posts, and he was, he felt horrible about it, and it's an unfortunate human instinct that these things happen. It does happen though, and it's just where the brain, it's just what happens when somebody comes forward. You naturally start to question, well, why were they there at the time that they went missing, so on and so forth. This video is going to be so long. I apologize. But I wanted to tell you about that because I saw it and I hadn't seen it before, or hadn't heard anyone else talk about it either. And it seemed, Fitbit data saying that she went back to the boyfriend's house. I hadn't heard that, But again, it's not confirmed. All right, let me play some of this press conference and then go over to the website and go through that, really fast. Much of what he says is on the website, except the interactive map. And I definitely want to take a look at that.
It is possible that Mollie came into contact with someone who has caused her harm. This person may not necessarily be a member of our community, but likely has some familiarity with the area. While residents may have developed their own opinions as to what happened to Mollie, we are asking everyone to reflect back on the days prior to her disappearance in hopes of recalling details about any persons or vehicles in the area. Individuals who commit violent crimes often display behavior that is recognized by those with whom they live, work, attend school, or are in otherwise close relationships with. Often, there are individuals who are unknowingly associated with the offender of a crime and may be in a position to observe behavioral changes in that person. They will recognize the change and may even question them about it, but will not relate the change to that person's involvement in a crime. Please contact us if you have noticed one or more of the following changes in a person with whom you are associated since Wednesday, July 18th. Change in normal routine, which might include missing school, work, or routine engagements without plausible explanation. A vehicle unexpectedly taken to a repair shop or sold or disposed of. Unexpected or intensive cleaning of a vehicle, possibly at an unusual time of day or night. Unexplained lack of contact or inability to get in touch with someone you knew the evening of July 18th into the morning of July 19th. Altering physical appearance, growth or removal of facial hair, change in cut or color of their hair. Displays of anxiety, nervousness, stress, or irritability. Unexplained injuries. Changes in consumption of alcohol, drugs, cigarettes. Changes in sleep patterns. Interest in the status of the investigation, including close attention to media coverage or an unwillingness to discuss the investigation. It is often in cases like this that people may have information they do not initially share it for a number of completely understandable reasons. For example, they do not initially feel it was important or assumed someone else may have already notified law enforcement. We encourage you.
Okay, so like I said, they have all those things he just listed, as changes that somebody unknowingly, knows the perpetrator, but changes that they saw didn't put it together that this could have been the person, and so I don't need to read those over again. Over here at the map, and here's Brooklyn, and they highlight a couple areas. They don't. He was very evasive. The next agent that comes on and takes questions when he was asked about that, not intentionally. He's just. I'm not sure why. To me, I would have thought that these things were the Fitbit data. The where she was at different times. Of July 18th, and that's what these circles are for that night. In fact, it says that in the notes in the page in the pink spots when you click them at the bottom, night of July 18th. I'll go through each one. This one, the image is broken, and the other one doesn't have one. This one here doesn't click to anything, unless if I do that. No. So, but that's better actually. But no, it doesn't do that, so I'll go back to that. All right, so this is that's where she was jogging. For instance, that's that individual who interviewed with GMA. That's his street there, I believe. And but even though this picture at the bottom is asking for 385th Avenue, it says law enforcement is asking anyone in the area of 385th Avenue on the evening of July 18th to contact us via the tip page here. And this web page, it has a link to another page for tips, which is this, which just strictly, you can remain anonymous, but just type in information, and. But again, that's what it says. It's for the night of July 18th. It's for the 385th Avenue. I assume that was her jogging path. And then, I guess she went this way. Or it could have been the other way around. It could have been going in this direction. I don't know. But the other thing was... and I haven't looked at these things real closely. I haven't brought them up in satellite or anything like that yet, and I don't know. I doubt I will for this video because it's running long. But this one, it says the car wash, man. It says law enforcement is asking anyone in the area of the D&M car wash on the evening of July 18th to contact us via the tip page here. there's a million things you could think of what that is. You just don't. I just have no idea. I don't know if that's to wash the car off, and I don't know. I don't, and to stop so that a scent would be stopped at that point. I have no idea though. I really don't. But it definitely means something. It can't be. Or did the person go back to the car wash after abducting her? I mean, I don't know. The next one is here, and then again, this one has an image that doesn't go. It's broken, and this one that doesn't go anywhere. But this one, it's the TNA truck stop is what they're focusing on here. Law enforcement is asking anyone in the area of TA truck stop on the evening of July 18th to contact us via the tip page. And by the way, in each one of these instances, none of this was mentioned in the press conference. They mentioned the interactive map. They mentioned some of the reporters asked about it because they were probably looking at it on their phones. What are the highlighted areas? What do they mean? And like myself, I just realized these notes, moments before making this video. When I was looking at this interactive map at 4 o'clock this afternoon, I didn't even see these notes. Nobody asked about these things, and they didn't talk about them. But they're definitely significant for sure. They must be. TA truck stop. They must have. There's something there. I mean, somebody did the Fitbit trail go there? The phone trail. Phone data is ping to there. And they were asked about that stuff and did they pick up pings and stuff like that, and he just would not release any information on that. So I think I'm going to end it there, and it's so much to process. I really have no idea. I don't. Like I said on the way home, I had a bad thought that maybe this is not just isolated to Mollie Tibbetts, and there's somebody else. There's more. And but that's the same. I just don't know. I just don't. But that's what was presented out there today. If I have time, I'll probably look at those sites, the TA truck stop, the car wash, and see what they look like under satellite. I don't know. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.